Hey everybody, Alex from SCADA Forge here. Welcome to the Ignition 302 class, where we will go over the Gold Certification Study Guide as part of the Inductive Automation Training resources here. If you've gone through Ignition 201, you'll be familiar with the core certification process here and have gone through the Ignition Design Challenge, which is a good background for the core certification. And the core certification test is an online multiple choice test these days, while the gold certification is still a PDF that you'll get with some prompts that you'll have to complete and then submit your gateway backup to Inductive Automation to have them grade things. And all of that is described here under the test grading and results section of the gold certification section here. For these videos, we're going to go through the study guide for the gold certification test. We won't go through an actual gold certification test since that is proprietary to Inductive Automation, but this is all freely available on their website and gives you a good run through everything. So in the study guide, we have recommended resources. This will take you to the Ignition User Manual and Inductive University. And then within the practice test prompts, that will give us things that we can search for in the User Manual or Inductive University to get a good idea of what you're looking at. We'll also run through development in the Ignition 302 course to show how to build all of this. Most of these videos will be focused on everything covered here in the practice test prompts. The Ignition 301 section will give us an overview of all of these at a higher level, and then 302 will dive into all of the prompts and everything and actually build this out. So we're going to go through a more lengthy gateway setup process than we did in the core certification or the design challenge. We're going to use database user source instead of an internal user source, which will require some additional work to set things up on the database side of things. And then we will use the database to track downtime event data. This would be looking at something like building an OEE system. This would be the foundation of that. You can also go back to Ignition 104 for the OEE Launchpad project to get an idea of how that works in practice. We'll need to create inheritable projects, which is something you do typically on larger scale ignition systems. In the design challenge, we only had one project, so we're not dealing with inheritance. And then we'll create some different projects that we'll use for that. One for vision, one for perspective, and one for backend resources. Then we'll dive a little bit more into security with security levels and security zones. And we'll also lock down the gateway web page. And we'll go through a more involved tag and UDT setup using a dairy simulator program that they provide here. And create a new programmable device simulator. Then we'll set up historical storage, create a UDT definition for towers, and then we'll create a refrigeration folder, put some instances of the UDT in there. Then we'll create some other UDT definitions for other devices and build a production line UDT, and then build a folder structure to manage that, and then build a UDT definition for motors and add those to the mix as well. And then we'll set up some more advanced alarming using named queries. We'll create alarms on the UDT definitions, as well as some custom properties on the alarms so we can track additional information on the alarms. We'll store those historically, and then we'll set up alarm notification pipelines with some different criteria for those, depending on if the alarm has been acknowledged within a 5-minute period, or if we're in like a high condition, then we will also escalate up to administrators. Then we'll build a vision project. Similar to the design challenge, we'll build a vision template, then a main window, and a pop-up window that utilize the template and give us some ability to manage some downtime reasons in the database. We'll apply security to that project, and then we'll manage client tags here for this last section to show how those work. Then we'll go into a perspective project. We'll deal with style classes for the first time. We'll create some views for the motor devices. Again, using templates, as we've shown in previous videos. And we'll use style classes on those as well. And then set up navigation. And then we'll set up a tower instance and go through the process of setting that up. And then we will create views necessary for users to display orders from their database and add new orders. This is similar to Ignition 104's custom OEE development, where we add batch management to the OEE Launchpad project. So we'll go through that and show how Ignition can be used as a database front end to manage orders in a system that are stored in a database. And then we will do some perspective session properties to manage shipping orders and display a pop-up if the user has more than 5 unshipped orders. And then we'll set up security on that. And then we will go through a more advanced reporting scenario for this project. And that will be the last thing that we do, because that will rely on all the previous sections to be completed. And then we will have completed all of the Gold Cert study guide, and based on all of my experience over the last 14 years of being Gold certified, this will get you pretty well covered on everything that you'll see on the test. And then we'll also, if you want to look at topics covered down here at the bottom, this will give you some additional information that you might want to dig into in the docs to help understand what we're doing up there in terms of SQL queries, scripting, and advanced reporting and expressions. And this just gives you some frequently asked questions about the Gold certification. And if you have any questions on that, you can certainly reach out to training@inductiveautomation.com and they will help you out. Thank you for watching. After this, we will dive into doing some mock-ups of what we're going to build in the screens. And then we will dive into the prompts so you get a feel for what we're going to build screen-wise, and then we'll make everything function from there. Thank you for watching and have a great day.